Hi, I'm Kimberly Calderbank. Today on Community Cultures, we are chatting with two vital health services in our community. The unfortunate truth is, unless we need a resource, we can at times not realize their importance. Blood and blood products are a critical part of everyday medical care, including major surgeries, medical procedures, cancer treatments, and the managing of diseases and disorders. My first guest is Chris Vandoorne, a territory manager for the stem cell program with Canadian Blood Donor Services. Chris, you've been with CBS for 17 years now. Can you tell me a little bit about your journey through your time there?
Yeah, for sure. So I started with CBS, like you said, 17 years ago. I got into blood donor recruitment and started downtown Hamilton at that time. And then about 5 years ago, transitioned into stem cells. So love every day when I get up and go to work, just because I know at the end of the day, I've most likely helped somebody who's needed blood or a stem cell transplant.
That's something that I was talking about in our introduction. Was it's one of those things with medical and health that you don't really realize what you need or what's available till you're actually in that situation, and a family member yourself requires the services of blood or other medical necessities. Is there a personal story for you that got you invested and interested in this type of marketing, and certainly within the Canadian Blood Donor Services?
Yeah, so in 2015, actually, I ended up in the ICU with a GI bleed and ended up receiving 4 units of blood, and that saved my life. So if donors hadn't have donated, I wouldn't be here today. Having said that, I never thought recruiting blood donors and stem cell donors, I'd never need to use our products. And I had donated 45 times myself,
Wow.
and it was just amazing that I was there laying in the hospital and looking at the blood going into my arm and thinking, wow, I never thought I'd need this, and this is really how important it is.
This is such a vital community service. And again, that most people don't even think of. And when we started chatting, you brought up stem cell, and that was completely foreign to me and a whole new topic. Can you tell me a little bit about the stem cell program with Canadian Blood Donor Services?
Yeah, for sure. So what we do is we recruit stem cell donors onto our registry. Anybody that's 17 to 35 can join, and we don't actually call the person to donate unless there's a match found for a patient from that donor. So it's really easy to get on the registry. All you do is swab your cheeks, and you're on the registry until you're 60. There's about 800 patients right now in Canada waiting for a stem cell transplant. So the more donors we get on the registry, the better it is for them to get a match. So basically, a stem cell is just an immature cell that's going to turn into red blood cell, platelet, or white blood cell. And when someone's got blood cancer, that's affecting that system. So they take out that system and introduce healthy stem cells from a healthy donor. And the goal is for those stem cells to grow back healthy, and the person can live a regular, full life.
How has COVID affected this stem cell program, and how are you acquiring new folks to sign up for the registry?
Yeah, so we used to do in-person events in community at high schools, colleges, and universities. As soon as March hit, March 16th, we had to stop all that. And we used to get 70% of our donors from in-person events. So we always had an online route you can go. So you can sign up online. We'll send you a kit in the mail, and you swab your cheeks at home and then send the swab kit back. So we've had to transition fully 100% to online registration. It's working out pretty good, but not as good as online or in-person events, just because you don't have that personal connection when you can talk to someone in person. So we're really relying on patient campaigns and things like that to get people interested in going online and signing up.
I still find the whole stem cell absolutely fascinating, and science is not my background, so I'm not very familiar. Can you walk me through what that experience may look like from, let's say we've done the swab and you get called. What is that experience once you've been called in?
Yeah, so it could be 10 years from now when you get a call. So some people forget they even registered in high school or at university. So we're hoping people would still say yes, but we call them in for an additional blood test to see if obviously their compatibility and things like that. Once they're good to go, then they would go to a local transplant center. So, Juravinski Hospital. 90% of the time, people can donate through blood. So they're hooked up to a machine. We filter the stem cells out. We give them their blood back. They can go back to school or work the next day. Very easy. much like a blood donation. 10% of the time, stem cells are taken through bone marrow. So you're put under general anesthetic. It takes about 20 minutes to extract the stem cells right out of your bone. And people I've talked to that have done that have said they felt like they bruised their hip for a week or two after, but something they would do again because, they were the only match for that person and they were the only person that could save that person's life. So fairly easy thing to do to save somebody's life. And then, yeah, that those stem cells are given to the patient once somebody donates. And like I said, hopefully that person will take those stem cells and start to grow healthy again, for sure.
You've definitely hit the nail on the head there. You're literally saving people's lives in our community by participating in this process and by being a donor. Chris, what is your elevator pitch? What is your quick pitch if you're talking to people when you were out in community into how you should get involved and why you should get involved?
For sure. So I always say, do you have 10 minutes? Because that's all it'll take to save a life. It takes 10 minutes to register. That's all. We'll send you the kit right to your house. It's very convenient. And you could be saving somebody's life anywhere in the world, somebody you don't even know, most likely. People don't realize, too, when someone needs a stem cell transplant, only 25% of the time you match someone within your own family. So you're really going to be looking for an unrelated person to help save your life, someone you don't know. So that's why it's important to get on the registry. And diversity, too. I know I want to talk about that a little bit, too, but depending on your ethnic background is where you're going to find a match. So if somebody's Chinese, for example, they'll need to find a donor in the Chinese community that's on the registry to help save their life. So we're always looking at different communities, different ethnic communities to try and boost the registry with those folks, just so that everyone has the same chance at finding a donor.
From a statistics perspective, Chris, how often are we requiring blood? I know there's a shelf life component to this as well. So from a stem cell and blood component, what are the statistics? How many people are donors? How many people are engaging with this program? And what is the need?
So for stem cells, it's a little different because you're not donating when you sign up. So we don't have to actually store it. They'll donate once they're called. But we have about 460,000 people on the Canadian registry right now. And we actually are part of an international registry too, where our information gets uploaded. And we also search that for Canadian patients. So we have access to about 35 million people on the international registry. So even if we don't find a match for someone here in Canada for a Canadian citizen, and we find a match, for example, in India, the person in India would donate their stem cells there. We'll send a courier to go pick those stem cells up. And that person will receive stem cells here in Canada and, give them the best chance possible.
Well, that's pretty incredible that we're all working together to help people, again, locally in our community. What is the goal for the stem cell? Is there a number we're trying to reach? I know there's campaigns going on right now in the month of February. What's the goal here?
For sure, we want to register about 25,000 new registrants annually just to keep the registry topped up. People, when they hit 60, they're going to fall off the top of the registry. So we want to, replace those people. And we want our registry to grow too, just like the Canadian population. So like I said, we're looking at about 25,000 people this year to join the registry and, increase those chances.
And who can register? I know that sometimes there's differing things that you're looking for. So what is the ideal candidate and who are you looking for?
So we're looking for 17 to 35-year-olds. We target males more than females just because males tend to have higher stem cell counts. And the outcome for the patient seems to be better when it comes from a male. There's less chance of rejection too. Other than that, they just need provincial health care, be in good health, and be willing to donate to anybody anywhere in the world. And then just provide that cheek swab when we send that in the mail to the house. So yeah, pretty basic and pretty easy. It differs a bit from blood donation criteria. So I always tell people, if you're deferred from donating blood, don't think you're deferred from signing up to the stem cell registry. It's best to go to our website, blood.ca, navigate to the stem cell tab and see if you're an eligible donor for the stem cell program.
And as we transition through this sort of, now we're outreaching for stem cell, because again, it's not something that I had heard was even something that you were looking for previously. How can people learn a little bit more about stem cell, and what can you tell them to make them feel a little bit more comfortable about that process?
Yeah, so the best thing to do is just go to our website, like I said, navigate to stem cells. There's a lot of information there, and it'll answer most basic questions you have about the program. Like I said, it's an easy thing to do. People always have this misconception it's a spinal tap or something like that, very invasive. But 90% of the time, it's through blood, just like a blood donation. So something fairly easy that you recover from within a few hours after you donate, because you're receiving all those other fluids back into your body. We're just taking the stem cells. And our body's always producing stem cells, so you don't even know they're gone. But I think the most important thing is I would love to be a stem cell donor. I've never been called. I've been on the registry for about 17 years. I signed up when I joined Canadian Blood Services, but I would be honored to get the call and know that I could save that person's life, and I'm probably the only match for that person anywhere in the world. So it would be an honor for me to be a stem cell donor.
You've mentioned a couple of times the only match for somebody in the world. What are the chances that you're a match? What are those sort of the statistics or the percentages that there will be a match for somebody that is on the registration list?
Yeah, so like I said, you have to, match DNA with somebody. So the stats about 1 in 900 people that register ever get called to donate stem cells. So it's kind of like a lottery for those people that are waiting for a stem cell transplant to find a match. But we do find a match for 50% of the people that are waiting. So we do quite a few transplants here in Canada every year. We save a lot of lives. So, but like I said, to increase the chances and find more matches, we need to increase the amount of people on the registry as well.
So the call to action today, Chris, is ultimately to go on the website, to check out what it's all about, and then to register yourself, get yourself a kit, have that swab sent to your house, and then send it back. And so from step 1 to step 2, just walk us through that process one more time, Chris, as to what you're asking people to do today.
Yeah, so my main ask is to go online, blood.ca, go to our stem cell tab, answer the questions, fill out the information. Once you receive that kit in the mail, swab your cheeks, send it back, and you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that one day you could match somebody in the world, and that could be your neighbor. You never know, or it could be somebody a million miles away, halfway around the world. But it's just good to get on the registry. I've talked to people that are over 35 that wish they had got on the registry for the age cap. Just because they knew somebody or had a family friend that maybe needed a stem cell transplant and they weren't eligible to register. So it's something now that we're all at home. A lot of people are working from home, working from their computers. It's just as simple as going online for 10 minutes and signing up. So not too inconvenient. Something you can do and make yourself feel good.
What is the mission and the goal of Canadian Blood Donor Services? Is it awareness? Is it the increasing of the list, obviously? What is the mission that you're overall hoping to achieve?
So we're hoping to educate people more on the stem cell program, and then ultimately from education to registration. So getting those people to go online, register, if they feel like they're a good donor and they'd be willing to donate to somebody one day. So that's really it. Just trying to get those people registered and hopefully one day find matches for all the people that are waiting right now.
Chris, thank you very much for your time today and sharing with us. I find it absolutely fascinating that within those 10 minutes, we can help to save a life of somebody here locally in our community or around the world. And I hope that people will engage with you and keep this in motion.
Thanks for having me.